And then that was an interesting ruling, too, because they didn't rule that Governor Pawlenty did anything wrong. They just said the timing was off.
Well, except, Sue, it's a little bit worse than that, because the timing thing isn't found in the explicit language of the statute.
Right.
What they did is they created a new requirement that isn't found in the language of the statute, then said that the governor didn't meet the requirement, and then ruled against the governor. It's a clear case of judicial activism. There's no other way to look at it, and it's this kind of activity that we need to stop.
And then, ironically, the legislature came back in and did almost exactly what Governor Pawlenty had done in unallotment.
Yes,
so we wasted
exactly.
our time, our effort, and our money to do exactly the same thing again.
But we've got a court. The court is showing us it's where it's at now. The court has said, if you give us a political issue, if you give us an issue that deals with how to spend money, we'll gladly jump into the fray. Well, that's not what our judges are supposed to do. They need to butt out. We need to get back to constitutional government, and that is something a lot of our judges do not understand.
No, I agree 100%. I'm sure the viewers do too. So why should the viewers vote for you?
Well, to start with, Sue,
you understand the Constitution.
Yeah, I like to believe I understand the Constitution, but it's more than that. I think what I'm telling people is I believe in their right to vote. I believe in their right to hold judges accountable. My opponent doesn't. And if I am elected and someday you're unhappy with what I'm doing, you'll be able to vote me out of office. And I think that's a great thing. If my opponent gets her way, all the judges are going to be appointed, and we're going to end up suffering no matter how bad these judges are. Mm-hmm. So that's why. Sue, I tell people one other thing is, look, you don't have to remember my name when you go to vote. All you have to remember is that on that judicial ballot, when you flip it over, there's that word incumbent. Just vote against the incumbent.
I do that all the time, too. I see the word incumbent, I'm like, absolutely not. So I'm in that 45%, and we're going to turn that around this time. Because however judicial appointments are not considered partisan, I will just never, ever, ever understand that.
Oh, they're absolutely partisan.
Of course they are. I mean, give me a break. The person that you're running again, how long has she been on the bench?
She was appointed by Jesse Ventura.
Long enough.
Long enough, exactly. Long enough to make bad decisions.
Yes.
And again, at some point in time, we have to be able to hold people accountable. They keep making bad decisions. It's time to, just throw them out, get some new judges in there, and, like I said, restore constitutional government. And
we have some fabulous judicial candidates running. That's why I'm so excited about it, because we can turn this around. So how would people find out more information about you? Well, they could go to my website, which is wersalforjustice.com. Wersalforjustice.com. Yep, Wersal is W-E-R-S-A-L. Okay. And there's YouTube, there is Twitter, all that stuff is out there. I've got different people on the campaign who do each of those things. So they'll find me if they... Good, I'm a new Twitter fanatic, so I'm going to go follow you when I get home because I love new technology. I think, anything that helps me learn more, I think is terrific. But Facebook too? Facebook too, yes, absolutely. Website? Again, the website's wersalforjustice.com. And it's got a lot of information there. It talks a lot about the lawsuit that we pursued to get up to the U.S. Supreme Court. As well as some current litigation we've got going on, because we're, for instance, attacking the word incumbent on the ballot and trying to get that Tell us about that. That should be unconstitutional. How can that be? Well, the problem is again, the issue when it was first raised has been raised and brought to the Minnesota Supreme Court. And again, I mean, it's like the fox in the henhouse, right? The judges don't want this election system to work. They don't think there's anything wrong with the word incumbent. Well, you know and I know that gives the incumbent a huge advantage. So we've now raised a separate lawsuit
in federal court. It's before the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals. I kind of doubt that we're going to get a decision before the end of this election cycle. But again, this is a process where you keep fighting and fighting and fighting. And we've made like I said, we've made some huge strides. The judges are to the point where they're afraid somebody could win. And that's why, despite the fact that we've had elections for, 150 years, suddenly that's no good anymore. Suddenly we need to go to an appointment system.
We're going to make sure justices win because they're elected, not because they're appointed. Nobody should ever give up their right to vote for judges. That's just beyond me that we've actually gotten that far. We're getting down to our last few minutes here. What is it you want people to remember about you, your message, and why they should vote for you?
Oh, Sue, I'd ask that they go to the website, they educate themselves. I'd ask that they realize that there really are people out there who want to take away their right to vote. They're called judges, and they're called the incumbents. And then I'd ask everybody, just go to their email and go to their contact list and send out an email to all the people on their contact list and say, look, there's a guy out there named Greg Wersal who supports your right to vote. The incumbents want to take away your right to vote. This isn't even a partisan issue, Sue. I don't care whether you're Republican or Democrat or your Green Party. Everybody wants their right to vote. Everybody wants the opportunity to hold judges accountable. And that's my message. Let's just hold judges accountable. Right now, they're doing a crummy job. We need to kick some of them out of office.
Definitely time to throw them out of office. Wersal for Judge.
Wersal for Justice.
WersalForJustice.com. Am I right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to sign up to follow you on Twitter and Facebook.
All right.
I'm pretty sure there are more than 20 people watching. Just saying, with that new rule.
Oh,
go to the website.
Okay,
and
with the web, yes, exactly. So I understand.
Yes.
Look, yes, if they wish, they can. There's PayPal. They can contribute right there on the website, or it gives them an address where they could mail a check if they wish to do it that way.
And the most important thing, I think, is to send it out to their email contacts, because it is so important that we spread the word about how important judicial elections are, and that we have a candidate who will actually step up and look out for us.
Well, and not only that, Sue, is that it wouldn't take very much to change the outcome of these elections. We only need to move a small part of the populace to realizing what's going on. And that's why sending out those emails is so critical. The average person has zero information on judicial elections, zero. So if the viewers today can provide just a little bit of information to their friends, it's going to be more information than they've ever had in their entire life. And that really can make the difference. All right.
Never, ever give up your right to vote.
Sue,
Best of luck, Craig Wersal.
Sue, I really appreciate your having me on.